I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Um,
You said grit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was just like, there is an aspect of my personality that maybe to a degree that might not even be fully healthy. It's like, I'm not going to let myself think of the negative out. I'm just going to figure out how to make this happen no matter what.
Feel for you.
You don't think
I'll
that's
figure-
healthy?
I think it is. It can be healthy.
What is it?
But I
Not
also
not being. What would that be? What would be the
maybe
healthy
setting
side of that? Be balanced with your
with
expectations of what you can do, or
expectations
something.
that are realistic. And
Not pushing
I do
yourself so
think,
hard,
yeah,
or
not pushing
something.
yourself. That's how I would relate to it. It's sort of just not pushing, okay, doing whatever it takes and kind of throwing myself into this state of
Yeah,
overwork,
instead of
which
like
is
self-care,
yes,
self-compassion, like
yeah,
really letting yourself rest,
yeah.
giving yourself a manageable goal, or
I
or
never,
giving yourself time to get to a goal as opposed to doing it all now, or rushing.
I don't think I ever learned how to be still as a kid.
You didn't?
No, I don't think I ever really. It took me time. And even as that was something that became very clear to me when I stopped relying. Maybe there's some avoidance with, as a kid, like you're turning towards these substances and things. I think there's a lot there that people turn to these maladaptive coping strategies to,
Yeah.
instead of like sitting with the emotions.
Being
And
still.
once I had to really sit with my emotions, I found that so difficult.
Me too.
I found it so difficult.
That's when I just released the Mamata Misra, who is the teacher of mindfulness-based stress reduction, the John Kabat-Zinn thing. And a big part of that is like being with your emotions.
Right. Yeah.
I've spent so much of my life distracting myself from my emotions, running away, whether it was through substances or
Yeah.
maybe throwing myself into, I don't know. It just seems like I was never, like you said, never slowing down,
Right.
never being still enough to look inward at like, what's going on?
Right.
Like, how do you feel about the world? How do you feel about your place in the world? How do you feel?
Yeah.
It's hard to change and grow if you're not responding to emotions. Are there to help you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you have to get the messages and the lessons from them in order to then be changed by them.
Well, I think something that I learned was that how did I cope with emotions? And one way that I coped with emotions was through just overcompensating,
Working harder.
working harder.
Just going to work harder.
Yeah. But I do, being in a profession where you really have to be self-regulated. You have to regulate yourself and make sure that you're, there's this constant thing of like checking in with myself and being like, okay, am I in a good place to where I can be there for my clients, to where I could.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where jujitsu and having jujitsu and having a workout routine. I lift a lot of weights, like doing those things, like those are my forms of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And they can look, and sometimes it's like today it was recognizing that the thing that I need isn't going to be fast paced. It's going to be, how do I get my nervous system to slow down?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think there's this idea of like, I had to learn this as a parent because with boys, they're so high energy. Everybody kept saying, I was like, why can't I get them to go to bed at night? Like, why? And everybody was like, oh, you just got to wear them out even more. I was dysregulating their nervous systems because I was expecting too much. And what we really needed, and this took me having, one of the best things we ever did, or I ever did for my family, with her dad, was bringing in like an occupational therapist and having her look at the ways, being a parent that has like a high degree of distractibility. I was completely overwhelmed at times. I was completely shut down where I was losing track of things. I mean, this has been something anyone that knows me will say, like,
inattentive. That's that inattentive part. Yeah.
Has been something I struggled with. Time management, struggled with my whole life. Still struggle with it to this day, but I've learned structures and systems to help keep things in place. And having someone come in and be able to look at my household and say like, okay, this is what she worked with all of us. She worked with me on like some of my sensory processing issues and finding ways that I was like getting overwhelmed, or being able to help both of my sons, seeing them sort of individually and what they individually needed. We played a lot of games. We just sat down and played a lot of games. That was something I don't remember. I think I did that with my siblings, but I never remember like sitting, something I still need to do more with my kids is like just sit down, like
Play games.
play games, you
Yeah,
know,
just spend
just
time.
slow, things that were slow, that wasn't like, because it was easy for me to take them to the park and let them run around, and I would be doing all those active things with them, but
Yeah.
slowing down and doing the things that are down regulating was very difficult for me.
And that's really important. I think about it like teaching babies how to sleep, kids how to sleep. A part of that is, you know, them developing the skill of self-soothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's something that they benefit from having support to do it. That like down regulating, but also a little bit of separation to do it too. There needs to be some ebb and flow between like, I'm here for you, but you kind of have to self-soothe, but I can be a soothing energy or a soothing kind of presence. Yeah. And then kind of backpedal a little bit and be a soothing presence 10 feet away, and then maybe a soothing presence 15 feet away.
Yes. I mean, I think the thing that I've worked so hard, and it's the thing that I most want to cultivate in my home, is having home be this place of peace, where it's not this place of doing, and just being able to sit and relax with them and be able to do something like going on it. We hike a lot together. We go on a lot of walks. That's probably some of the times when I get the most out of them, because we're doing something active, but it's also like we're hiking, we're on a trail together, and there's no escaping. Like, we're here together. You're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, so we're here together in nature. I think nature's medicine, movement's medicine. It's also something that's great to impart on your kiddos, a love of nature.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in a world where we're so frequently drawn to the digital, the virtual.
It's so important. So we're lucky. We're here in Austin with, we have a lot of sun, a lot of nature around us. So
yeah. Did you use those notes? You got like notes on notes in there. It was
interesting.
Did it make you feel better having them?
I think it made me feel better to prepare, to like organize my ideas. I think it's one of those things that's like, how do you prepare for something that you're not sure what's going to come up? So I tried to just think about what questions might be asked of me. And it was interesting because I went back to, I was going through because I had written some papers on narcissism in college. So it was nice to like, I had papers printed out that were already there. So I was like, oh, I can pull from this. And it was nice to like go back and read some of the things that I had explored in my graduate studies.
Would you share those papers with people if they wanted to know?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I was just going to tell the camera there, if y'all want to know, if you want to read Jamie's writings, are they essays? What would you call them?
No, so this was like peer-reviewed studies that I had printed out.
Yeah, dude, if y'all want to check out these peer-reviewed studies on narcissism personality disorder that Jamie wrote, y'all hit us up. I didn't
write them. These are like peer-revied studies that I used to do the research for
your writing.
I did write a paper on it, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the paper that I wrote, but
don't ask us for that. We can't find that.
I gotta find it.
We can't find it.
I had it like
Jamie might be able to find it, but
I might be able to find it.
Yeah. Just if you pressure us,
It was about the narcissism spectrum though, because that was something when I started to explore NPD I wasn't as familiar with the vulnerability aspect of narcissism.
Yeah, the other side of it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you felt like's been unsaid about your childhood and your life story? Something we missed? Some question that I didn't answer that you would have liked to have been asked?
I don't know. I mean, what I'll say is that I do think that one of the things that I've been able to connect with other people is that I've had some of the experience of like going through some of my own struggle. Like, everybody goes through their own personal struggles, but being able to have that relatability of and then seeing the other side. One of the things I love working with co-occurring disorders
Mm-hmm.
for that reason. And I tend to not be like black and white about any specific thing that helps someone get to the other side of addiction. But I really love working with that co-occurring aspect because I've been able to change my I definitely used alcohol as a coping scale
Yeah.
from 15 all the way to 25, and maybe even, to some degree throughout my marriage in ways that I maybe wasn't acknowledging the extent of, just like in that increasing like low level agitation,
Yeah.
But now it's like I've been able to just kind of